Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the hot seat, it's me, Tony Sparacio. Most of you might not be used to me in such a tone of voice, and some of you might not even know who I am. Let me just explain to you who I am. But before I get that done, let me have one of these delicious cans of Coke. First, let me blow my nose real quick. Woo! We got an amazing show for you tonight. We got some guests that will be talking about their matches for Riley Wolf's last match. I am your host, Tony Sparacio, and I'm feeling great. Who do we got in the chat? Here tonight, we have Amanda, who will be in Riley Wolf's last match, challenging for a title belt. We have Killshot Matt Storm. Welcome in. How are we all doing today? We have Jose Blanco, the current NXW Undisputed Champion in the building. And of course, we cannot have a talk show without the one and only Blaised McCoy here. Welcome in, everyone. I am your host, Tony Sparacio. We have a stacked night here for you. Well, let's get into it then. We are going to be talking about Riley Wolf's last match, the supercard to end all supercards. We have matches that could never be imagined of. That first times ever to be happening. This is groundbreaking stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Let's real quickly go through the card for you. If I can just do that. Boom. There we go. Riley Wolf's last match. This graphic might have some wrong things. But let's talk about the past, present, and future Battle Royal. Once again, the link to the StreamYards is in all of the private chats. So make sure if you want to come here and talk your piece, talk about Riley Wolf, your interactions with him, and your match that will be taking place at Riley Wolf's last match, the Super Card. Make sure you get into the green room. We are accepting people as we speak. But yes, the past, present, and future Battle Royal. This will be a 2-match pre-show that says exactly what it is. It's the past, present, and future all in one, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I need to catch my breath. I'm having heart palpitations. Because I'm just so excited. Are you guys excited? Because I'm very, very excited. Next up, we have the Battle of the Communities, ladies and gentlemen. And with me to talk about this historic match between two sides of this overarching WWE 2K Games community is one of the participants in said match that is on the Team CAW side that will be teaming up with Damian Shelley and Christian Tracy, the one and only Jacob Baker. Jacob, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Good to see you there, my good friend. And it's been a rough road to say the least, but honestly, it's going to be an amazing road to say the least. But I can't wait till I get to. Honestly, it's going to be a historic night to say the least for Mr. Riley Wolf. But it's going to be a great night to say the least.
Indeed, it is. Let me get your opinion on this matchup. You're facing 3 individuals you've never faced before. This is a battle of the niche communities here. You being a part of more the Twitter side that they call it CAW against what is known as more of the Skype and Facebook group that calls it digital wrestling. What is your opinion on this monumentous mixing of communities?
Well, honestly, I think I see this as a melding of 2 different worlds. Because honestly, Twitter and Facebook in of itself is its own entities in virtual wrestling, because in the Twitterverse you have your own colleagues and everything else. Of course, me and Damien are have our own fair share of leagues we've been in, of course. But of course, the Facebook, Skype, and all their leagues have their own sides. And to see both these sides finally clash together for one night only is something that's truly sensing that virtual wrestling has come by in the past, like 20 years since its founding, all those decades ago with no DQ call.
We're gonna all the way back, I see.
Yeah, all the way back to like no mercy, and to see it now coming together now, it's kind of it feels like we're moving so far in the evolution of virtual wrestling, and we're still just on the tip of the iceberg, because now with this going on, sooner or later we will be seeing many more of these monumental moments, hopefully sooner in this day and age, And I can't wait for this matchup at the pay-per-view,
We are all very excited for this match. Now, let's talk about the main man himself, the man that has been able to bring this all together. Riley Wolf made sure to make this not just about him, but to make it about everybody. You have any funny stories, whether it be any interactions that you, Jacob Becker, have had with Riley Wolf in the ring or around that, and or in the out of character side? If you have a funny story, please, we'd love to hear it.
Honestly, I have to say this. I've only had like a short time with Riley Wolf, because sure, his time in call is much longer than mine, because my time in call is very short, but I've had some great time with Riley Wolf. His intellect in virtual wrestling is very much amazing. Like, his storytelling is amazing. When I saw his work at NXW, like the way he could be able to grab the audience when he was running with when he had to sing with La Prima Familia was pretty much amazing stuff, honestly. And I wish I had the chance to check out his other work as well, because I sure missed out on some of his other work. But man, he has some really good stuff, and his family members sure has some genius ideas in of itself. And honestly, I'm sad that he had to call it a career, but honestly, the fact that he is now taking the big step of going into the big world of professional wrestling, and I've actually saw some of his matches, and I have to say, Riley Wolf does have a promising future in professional wrestling, and the fact that he's been using virtual wrestling to help out with his promos and stuff makes us proud to know that virtual wrestling is helping shape possibly the future of professional wrestling.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for being on, Jacob. I wish you the most of luck in this battle of the communities and hope it delivers on its promise of being a monumental match for the ages.
Oh, most definitely. I couldn't agree more, and I hope this thing becomes like the beginning of hopefully seeing both Twitter and Facebook coming together and being basically the spark that becomes the melting pot for virtual wrestling as a whole.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you for being on.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me here.
All right. Let's get back to the stage real quick. Get the zoom in off my face in the weird right hand corner, because we got to talk more matches. We have to talk about a monumental match sponsored by Hell's Gate Wrestling. We have what could possibly be the final match to feature Diamond Wolf, Luna Wolf, and Maria Wolf, as they team up with such a surprising ally in Diane Wolf, as they take on possibly one of the most dominant factions of all time in Alpha. Eva Cyanide, Bad Amy, Amber Young, and Angelita Matthews. Now, again, this was sponsored by Hell's Gate Wrestling, and we have a word from the owner of Hell's Gate Wrestling that I'm going to read out for you right now. Unfortunately, she was not able to make the show, but she has some words. It is first off, thank you, Riley, for allowing Hell's Gate Wrestling to be a part of such a prestigious event. I, Mrs. Utaker / Tiny, as the CEO of Hell's Gate Wrestling, it's an honor to have been asked. It is even greater of a pleasure for me to say yes to this innovation to sponsor a invitation, for Riley Wolf's last match. From day one, when you entered the DWS on LIT2 for LTD, I've seen you as nothing but special. Once you made it known, along with my client, Max Baylock, former partner James Creed, was a real indie wrestler, that made things even more special. Max and you went toe-to-toe in some written promos and some voice promos that LTD and LIT2 class, some of which Max still says is some of the best work has done. That says something when 20 years ago, real life wrestler gave you props. I was given the pleasure of accepting my invitation into Hell's Gate Wrestling just 2 days after you and after your LTD debut. I want to say your promo skills, your energy you bring to them, and even dressing the part in some of them was key component to myself doing much of the same. Because of you, Max, and others helping me and guiding me, I have been able to give myself new energy, new life, and a much needed voice. Riley, to say you will be missed in Hell's Gate Wrestling is an understatement. You and the other roster members have brought new life into my company, unique feds, and wonderful friendships. Hell's Gate Wrestling, the Digital Wrestling Syndicate, and the entire eFed CAW Digital Wrestling will be losing such a great and valuable asset that does not come by very often. Just know I speak for myself, my co-owner, Mr. Utaker, Morgan Nightwalker, my creative team, Jeff, Angelita, Shulky, Ripper, Clinton, and Atticus, when I say thank you, Riley. We will deeply miss you, and a dear friend. Good luck, Godspeed, and whatever road your journey now travels on, when you leave and take your place with you, you better stop by, say hi, keep all of us updated and how you're doing. And as for me, you might not be a call on my roster, but you will always be in HGW, as you will not be taken out of any HGW chats. This is not a goodbye. I hate goodbyes. No death fear. No, my dear friend. This is in Hell's Gate Wrestling. We'll see you if our paths cross ever again. Respect and love as always. Tiny, Mrs. Utaker, proprietor and CEO of Hell's Gate Wrestling in the Digital Wrestling Syndicate. That put a tear to my eyes, ladies and gentlemen. And while that happened, what else has been going on in this chat? Who do we got in here? We got Jacob once again in here. Oh! As I was reading that, look who pops in! When did you show up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome into the show, Tiny.
Welcome, and thank you for asking me here. I came in halfway through, and I'm glad you read it, because I would never have gotten through saying all that. So yeah, I could not write it without crying. So let's just put it that way.
It was so thoughtful, and we all in the production truck, everybody in the back, we all appreciate the work you've been putting in and those thoughtful words. But let me get your opinion on the match that you are sponsoring. What could possibly be these three women's final match in digital wrestling as well. Diamond Wolf is pursuing her career in business. She will no longer be in digital wrestling as well. Luna Wolf was asked more of a favor to be brought in, and she's going to wind up. And Maria Wolf, she has a much needed retirement waiting for her, as she's made such an impact in such short amount of time. What do you feel with them teaming up with Diane Zinda, how they're going to fare against Alpha? Now, I know you have a little bit of bias with your daughter being in Alpha, but please try to be as objective as possible when talking about this monumentous match that you are sponsoring.
Well, I can't really remain unbiased because 3 of the members were in Hell's Gate Wrestling. 2 of them still are, which is Eva Cyanide and my daughter, Lita Matthews. I've always wanted Amber Young on the roster, so when you approached me for having this match, I was like, yes, I'll do this. Because the unbiased portion aside, I have been in Twitter. I lurk. Don't worry. I lurk and watch, people. You might not see me, but I am lurking everywhere. And I do watch a lot of GPW shows. And Diane is a formidable opponent of her own singly. Given with the 3 wolves, this could potentially be a very, very strong team. But you have alpha ladies. You have the alpha ladies who, when they first came in, Lita was an alpha female. These 3 she's teamed with. She's either teamed with as a tag team or as a trio or as a 4-way. And when they were approached and said, hey, we would like to have a team against these, of course these 4 ladies would say, hello, let's go. All 8 of these women bring such energy, such skill, such talent to the match that it can go either way. Of course, I would like Alpha to win, but even if they don't, it will be a strong, epic match, and that's what Hell's Gate Wrestling as a whole wants my roster to be. I want you to be the best you can be, bring everything to the ring, leave it in there. Win or lose, you can walk away with your head held high. And all 8 of these ladies will do just that.
No words could be said better about this momentous match, this monumental 8 women's tag match. I thank you all for being on, Tiny. Any other last words you'd like to say before we move on?
Yes, if I may, I will have an event about a week after this Riley's last match event that he's putting on. That will be his last match in Hell's Gate Wrestling. It's gangster theme, and the trailer is on Hell's Gate Wrestling. So if you want to, you can get a hold of Riley, and he'll give you the link. But it's gangster related, and it's right up Riley's alley. So it's a way for Hell's Gate Wrestling to say goodbye to you, or see you later, and take you out as in a bang. Like you came in with a bang, you're going out with a bang. So
yes, we'll definitely put that trailer in the link in the description once the live stream is over, and it will be shared onto social medias as soon as this broadcast is over. So yes, make sure you tune into Hell's Gate Wrestling. I believe you have it scheduled for the day after Riley Wolf's last match, correct?
the 18th. I've set the pay-per-view for the 18th, yes.
So make sure you're there, February 18th.
Mm-hmm. And I thank you for allowing me to be on the show, and thank you for being a part of HGW, and au revoir, but we'll see you again soon.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for being on. Now, I know there's a certain someone that's been very, very vocal about Riley Wolf's last match and the controversy that's been surrounding his match. The fact that it's been happening, hasn't happened, isn't going to happen, might be happening. We don't know for a fact, but we are going to get this man on. We are going to talk to the one, the only, Cody Hagan. Welcome on to the show, Cody. How are you doing today?
You just noticed that I am not in the mood.
I haven't noticed anything. You just came on. What's going through your head, Cody? The fact that there isn't a match currently slated for you at Riley Wolf's last match when you were promised a world title match, but because of Lance Romance, that didn't happen.
Yeah, Lance. Yeah. I've thought about that for quite a while. Okay, Lance fucked me over. Lance screwed me over of my shot at getting a world title on that show. Shut up, Dick. No one likes you. So, I thought to myself, okay, I know how to get in the show. Since I still have control of NXW. Well, I can't get myself involved in a title match, but I can add myself into a title match. This is a main announcement at Wirewolf's last match. The NXW World Heavyweight Championship will be decided, as Jose Blanco's first defense will not be at the World Cup, no. No, because you'll be fighting me.
Oh my goodness. A bombshell announcement just now from Cody Hagan. Don't you think that's going a little overboard, trying to book yourself into a world title match like that? You don't think that's a little power hungry?
Nah, if you want to go big or go home, you like, go big, bitches.
But I'm sorry if I mean to grill you. I just need the hard-hitting questions. Weren't you so concerned about Riley Wolf doing the exact same thing if he were to get in power? You're doing the exact same thing.
After Conspiracy and the War Game stuff, which was fucking brutal, and all the other stuff,
Have we lost Cody?
sorry, someone tripped over a wire and my microphone cut. That's Sorry about that. Microphone, someone in the back tripped. Dumbass.
But go on. What were you talking about when? Again, you still haven't answered the question. Aren't you doing the exact same thing that Riley is, that you were accusing Riley of doing?
After Conspiracy and the War Games and Jose winning the world title, I thought quite hard. I'm like, what do I want to do that's best for this company, and seeing what Jose is doing? Like, but then my mind and my brain conjunct that, Jose, you are a Whitey Wolf spy, and I cannot let that shit happen. No. You are a spy, motherfucker. You're the person who is trying to get White Wolf back in this company. I will not let that fucking happen. So I will take what is yours.
That's a very damning accusation to throw at Jose Blanco. Thankfully, he's in the bag and he is ready to respond. Isn't that right, Jose? What do you think?
You listen to me here, you son of a bitch. All right?
Whoa.
No, Tony Sparacio, shut. This is just between me and him. You accuse me of being a spy for Riley Wolf. No. let me tell you something. All right. The reason why you're accusing me of a spy is because you saw me hanging out with him while we're just smoking up like cigars and some shit like that. I could care less about Riley Wolf. All right. The reason why you put yourself in this spot is because you know that you don't have the guts to face me one-on-one. The reason why I say that, for one thing's for certain, I
Is it just
beat you in
because?
the World Cup.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, the
shut up,
World
Tony. I'm
Cup.
talking here. Shut up. I'm talking. All right? When the champ is talking, you shut up and listen. The reason why I'm saying that you can't step up to me is because I beated you in the World Cup. Do you remember that? Right? You still had those head concussion issues. Don't think I've
Not
been reading your freaking
anymore.
medical record. No,
Not
shut the
anymore.
fuck up. All right? I'm talking here. I'm talking here. All right? You listen. All right? I'm no spy. You're just greedy. And you know, I think Riley Wolf was right about you. Because maybe, and I think maybe, the reason why you're in this spot, I think it's what Tony Sparacio said perfectly. You're power hungry. You are power hungry. And for that, I can never forgive it. So when I do retain my title, we're going to have another match. And you will put up your shares of NXW the next time we fight. How does that sound, huh?
Whoa, that's definitely not Riley Wolf's last match. That's not business that's happening at Riley Wolf's last match. So let's leave that to the NXW board.
I want him to know. I want Cody to know that there is no way he's going to leave Riley Wolf's last match as the world champion. It's going to be over my dead body. And I mean it. I will die for this championship.
Hey, New Jersey Devils, are you finished, or are you gonna choke another championship?
I don't know. Ask your Colts. They've done the same thing.
You say that the last time we've battled was because I had my concussions. Yeah, that was when Eric gave me a rough concussion, but I forgave him for that a year ago. But yeah, that match between you in the first round, it's still like didn't sit right with me. It was uneasy. And yeah, I remember that. But I am the toughest, ruthless piece of shit you can think
Bullshit,
of.
you aren't. Did you see the going I went through in the World Cup?
Did you see what I went through in War Games?
That's nothing. That's child play. That's child play.
You know,
I've been
people
through
have
worse.
said
You know
to
that.
you multiple times, when the fuck are you gonna cash this in? And you have doubts. You had doubts in your head about cashing this in because the World Cup was coming pretty soon.
No. I never had doubts on cashing in. Because when I did cash in, I was going to do it on my time. I had all the power in the world. As I said, I had the golden ticket to the top of that mountain. The reason why people like you don't like me is because of who I am. What my, like, you get it.
You're
Right?
a
My character
sadness.
is.
You like shit. You like crazy shit. What the hell?
Of course I do. Of course I do. And then someone like you that's probably somewhere around the middies doesn't like that shit. You're probably used to choking it anyways.
All right. This is getting a little too out of hand. Let's get one final word from both of you. Cody, you get your final lick in before we end this segment.
Cokehead, shut the fuck up. Let me talk. Jose, you want to end me? How about this? You tried to end me when I was just trying to get back where I wanted to be in the next W. Now, I have everything in my hands. And if I beat you, I have the entire company in my hands. There's no safe way wide. He's got the whole world in his hands. Well, I got the whole title and this whole damn company in my hands. And there ain't a damn thing you could do about it.
Well, Cody, thank you for being on. Jose, one more rebuttal from you, and we are going to move on.
All right. Before you do, can you give me like a little bit of that dust?
But
Okay. Now, you see, Cody Hagen everyone knows is a hard head. Everyone knows that he's mostly a whiner and a complainer. And sure, I was that way too, but that's a whole lot more different. And you see who I am now? I don't care about anyone's safety. I don't care about anyone's lives I ruin. And I don't care if I have to ruin Cody's life, even though it's already happened, to retain this title on my shoulder. And Tony, I want to hear what you think about this match that I'm going into, because knowing that he's probably going to be pulling some magical bullshit that's going on behind the scenes, something like that, have someone come out there and definitely interfere in that match and make Jesus Christ, the joke's coming in, that will cause a screw job for me to lose my world title.
Well,
But
I'm an impartial commentator. I can't really have any opinions on it. Before we go, I do want let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Let me get a story about Riley Wolf, since this is about Riley Wolf's last match. Let's get a story about any interactions, either in or out of character, you've had with Riley Wolf that would be entertaining to bring up.
I have not heard or heard about Riley Wolf until maybe during the El Prima Familia storyline that happened in the XW. And honestly, I loved it. I loved it. The only gripe I had about it is that he could have had a chance, like him with the Familia could have a chance to maybe buy me out and have the briefcase in their hands as kind of an insurance policy, that if someone took the world title, I would have cashed in and kept it in the Familia, but it is what it is. And then after that, we just had a simple conversation, a reveal, the storyline and all that such. And he's pretty chill. He's really, really chill. I'm gonna put it that way to you.
Well, thank you for being on, Jose. We're gonna get Cody back on real quick just to get a funny story about Riley Wolf, either in or out of character. Yeah, the floor is yours, Cody. Say whatever you want about any history that you have with Riley
Wolf. God, any funny stories? I don't know. Maybe the times where me and him would always chill and hang out at freaking VC calls, or the times he says I am bald when I have hair. A blog was made that the joke from 2017 still fucking lives in this year. Even though I have hair and I'm still growing it. Ugh. And yeah, sure, I may have some funny moments when it comes to NXW behind the scenes, or yeah. But in the end, it's gonna be a sad time to see him retire.
Well, as I've heard, there's an old saying I like to go by: don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Thank you so much for being on, Cody. Good luck in your match for the NXW Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. All right. Our next segment. Let me get this segment up and running. And next, joining me live via satellite from the Wolf Family Mansion is the current reigning and defending NXW Women's Internet Champion, Devin Wolf.
Good to be on, Tony. I'm glad to see my brother has been keeping you employed all these years.
Well, not for long, unfortunately, in this field, but we don't need to get into that. Let's get into your match that sees you put your NXW Women's Internet title on the line against one of your, if not your, greatest rival in Amanda Doyle. What is your mindset going into possibly your final match, staring across the ring from Amanda for the very title that helped spark your rivalry in the first place?
My mindset is what it's always been. To get in that ring and fight. And you gotta be in a dog-eat-dog mindset to be as successful as the Wolves of Prey, and more specifically, I've been. So Amanda, when you step out of your comfort zone in a place your husband is not in control of, when you get on my turf, I'm gonna show you that I didn't need Riley's growing influence in NXW to hold on to the NXW Women's Internet title, because I'm not going to try to tap you out like I did last time. I'm just gonna knock you clean out.
Historic night! I love it! Home field advantage! That's a game changer! I can't wait, Devin! Thank you so much for being on today! Good luck in your match against Amanda!
Thank you, Tony. But as my brother always says, luck is for losers.
Well, there you have it, folks! An electrifying showdown coming your way between Devin Wolf and Amanda Doyle, slated for Riley Wolf's last match. But let's get on to our next... Wait, what the hell? Amanda, what the hell are you doing? Amanda, what are you doing in the Wolf family mansion? What are you doing with the Wolves of Prey's property in the Undisputed Elite title belt?
I'm taking back what is mine. First, you steal my title at BBB2 by cheating to win. I did not tap out. You stole my belt, my Women's Internet Championship. And now you steal the Undisputed Elites Championship? That's my property. So I just took back what is mine. And what you don't understand about me is, I don't need Tom Doyle to beat you. I don't need anybody. I don't need my husband, and I don't need any of the Undisputed Elite. I am not protected as you think I am in NXW. I have to scratch and claw and fend for myself. And you act like I'm handed everything. I'm not. I work my ass off for everything I've accomplished in NXW. I don't need anyone. I only need myself. And I took into my own hands to attack you at your own house. Because if you're not also putting my UE title on the line as well, then I'm just going to take it. This belt is not yours. It belongs to me and the Undisputed Elite. I took this belt back for me, but I mostly took it back for my sisters. And I did not lose the match, and frankly, I didn't lose my title. So I'm taking it back. And then, at Riley Wolf's last match event, I am also going to take back my NXW Women's Internet Championship that I never should have lost in the first place.
All right. Get her off the screen. Get her off the screen. Somebody call the cops, damn it. She's breaking and entering in somebody else's property. Even if you know you may or may not be in the wrong or right or whatever, it's still breaking and entering. You've broken the law. And the Undisputed Elite lost that title belt fair and square at War Games and Call Spears. This is ridiculous. Somebody call the cops, damn it. Well, while we get any updates on that, let's move on. Our next guest has two things involved in Riley Wolf's last match that he's going to talk about, because not only will he be a participant in Team DWS versus Team CAW, but he is also sponsoring, can I get that up? Oops. Spoiler, the double belt bloodbath at Riley Wolf's last match, an unprecedented match. Please welcome the Chaos Reaper, Atticus Black. Good to have you on, Atticus.
What's going on, Tony? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, as you can see. I'm surrounded by Coca-Cola.
All right, so let's get down to business here. The double belt bloodbath. All right, so this match, of course, features a bunch of people I have had the pleasure of basically shaping my career so far in the DWS with. You got my brother, the anarchist Azrael Black, your Blood God champion, one of two champions going into this match alongside Mark Caliber. Got Jeff Matthews, one of my greatest friends in the DWS, Paul Utaker, the godfather of my two daughters, mind you, Ripper Springheel, the leader and one of the founders of the Madness Asylum Disciples over on Blaised Radio's Leaning Toward Death Wrestling, and you got Dragonheart, a good friend of mine. But the two people I want to touch on the most in this match are Ezekiel Swift and Max Maximus. Those two people I have not had any experience with. They are a mystery to me. What they are bringing to the table in this match is going to be new to the likes of me. And regardless of if they win this match, I would like to personally extend an invitation to Ezekiel Swift and Max Maximus to join Chaos Regional Wrestling in the upcoming year if they would be interested.
That's very interesting. Do you think that, well, Max Maximus, I believe, has some history with people like Jeff Matthews. I know he also appears on Hell's Gate Wrestling, where a lot of these people also are a part of, but Ezekiel Swift is really the outlier in all of these individuals. He is the wild card that nobody has stepped in the ring with before. What do you think that's going to, how do you think that's going to play in this historic match?
Like I say in every other match, regardless of the opponent you're facing, and no matter how much time you've had to prepare for that opponent, you need to treat that opponent like you would anybody else that you've been in the ring with. The fact that Ezekiel Swift is the outlier in this match, I believe, makes him a target going forward. People aren't going to want to stick around to see what he brings to the table. They're going to want to get the X factor out of the match as quickly as possible to become more comfortable with how they strategize. Everybody else in this match knows each other. I think that puts Ezekiel Swift in a bit of danger.
That's very interesting. How do you think all these people are preparing for such a historic match? Never in, I believe, this amazing community's history has two separate title belts been on the line in one match, a part of an event that is not branded to either show. This is a first time ever match we are seeing. How do you think that's affecting these 8 individuals?
Honestly, if it were me going into this match, especially if I were one of the two champions, I would worry about keeping what is mine before trying to get it in your head of getting anything else. Defending your title should be your top priority. Now, for everybody else going after the belts that Azrael and Mark currently hold, this is a big opportunity for them. As you said, this has never happened in the history of the DWS, not that I can recall at least. And where those minds should be at right now is making sure you pick the bones of what's in front of you. Do not try and overexert yourself in this match, because that will cost you. This type of match is one where you're going to have to be smart. You're going to have to pick your moments. If it means sitting on the side waiting for someone to do the work for you, then by all means, that is what you are going to have to do. I think the smartest person will come out the victor in this match. It won't come down to skill. It won't come down to strength or speed. It'll come down to the one who has the best mindset for this type of a moment.
Very interesting. Now, you said if you were in this match, you are in a match at Riley Wolf's last match. It is the Battle of the Communities, Team DWS versus Team CAW. What is your mindset going into this match, this historic match between communities?
Now, going into this match, I just want to touch up on Team CAW real quick. Damian Shelley, Kristen Tracy, Jacob Baker. I know Kristen Tracy, I know Damian Shelley. Jacob Baker is a bit of a mystery to me, much like Ezekiel Swift in the other match. You see, I have a lot of respect for Team CAW. I respect what they do over on the other side of the community, but see, while the DWS, yes, we may be a community, but I like to consider ourselves more than that. You see, this match is, I like to say, about pride. It's a pride of the two communities going at it, bragging rights, all that good fun shit. But I would like to say that regardless of who wins, I want to say that I respect everything that the other side is doing. I am actually a part of the other side. I have Atticus Black and a few of the CAW communities that are more centralized around the stuff outside of what we do on Skype, in the Skype chats, or in YouTube, or all that stuff. So I know what it's like to be part of both communities.
Well, no better words could have been said about these two historic matches. Atticus, thank you so much for being on. I wish you luck in not only your match, but the outcome of the double belt bloodbath and what that's going to mean to Chaos Regional Wrestling as a whole.
Appreciate you having me on, Tony.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to rewind back a bit. We are going to rewind back a bit to the past, present, and future Rumble, the pre-show spectacular that will be leading up. Unlike the main show that will be a pre-recorded, fully storytelled event, the pre-show, the past, present, and future Rumbles, the men and the women, will be live with guest commentators and everything, and one of the participants of the past, present, and future Rumble is here with us tonight. Welcome to the stage, Crushing Kelly Black.
Hello.
Glad to have you on. What is your mindset going into such a historic event, such as Riley Wolf's last match in such a monumentous match that is the past, present, and future Rumble?
Well, this is also my first match in Riley's company. So it's kind of like my first dip in the water on his last ride in the CAW community. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm still gonna whoop that ass regardless, whether I'm a newbie to the company or not. But, of course, why not have some fun?
Very interesting. Now, you are one of the only few names that is confirmed for the past, present, and future Rumble. What do you think about the fact that you don't know the other 9 women that will be in this match?
Let's just say I'm not that worried about not being knowledgeable about my other opponents. You got to be prepared for anything and anybody, regardless of if you know the person or not. I'm not overlooking anybody. It could be anybody in this match. So whomever it may be, I'm just gonna whoop that ass regardless.
I love the energy. I love the enthusiasm. I wish you luck on this amazing match that we'll see the past, present, and future all in one ring.
Glad I can be a part of it.
And before I let you go, there's been kind of a theme going on tonight. I'm asking for either in character, out of character, fun, funny, humorous stories about any interactions you've had with Riley Wolf. Do you have any that come off the top of your head?
Most of my experience with Riley has been my being a part of the roster of Leaning Towards Death Wrestling. Pretty much his promos, how loud and boisterous he can be, whether in or out of character. I also brought him into my own company for the rest of his last ride in the CAW community. Thought, why not? He can have some fun, and he's never been in my company, Blood Moon Wrestling Federation. So why not? If I'm joining his for his last ride, he can join mine for his last ride. He hasn't caused much of a ruckus in my company, so not too much to complain about.
That's very surprising coming from Riley Wolf, as he is known for being a bit of a ruckus. But thank you so much, Crushing Kelly Black, for being on. I wish you luck in the past, present, and future Rumble. I wish you luck in the future of BMWF and the rest of your digital wrestling career.
Thank you so much.
All right. We are narrowing down to some of the heavy hitters of the event, some of the matches that made it the premier show to watch. And one of those matches was the Battle of the Brands, 4 of the biggest promotions. When Riley Wolf was first starting in this community, GPW, LTD, NCW, and NXW. And here with me today to talk about said match is the one and only representing LTD, Blaised McCoy. How are you doing tonight, Blaze?
Well, what do we have here? Now, a lot of you out there might know your boy Blaised McCoy is the voice of Leaning Towards Death Wrestling, the man who coined the phrase digital wrestling and DWS. But you might see a different side of Blaze in this instance. As you see, I'm working out. I've been getting ready for a match. Normally I'm behind the mic, but I figured if I was going to be a part of this show, I had to be prepared and I had to be ready for anything. But let me clear the air on one thing first. I get the understanding of call. Yeah. Come on, guys. The guys here are having a good time with this. And I get digital wrestling, and I get why the two have come together here, and I appreciate that for many reasons. DWS and digital wrestling is another way to say CAW. They are each in the same. And my intentions were to bring them all together. Yes, it's DWS versus CAW in this show, but the idea behind it, and I know you, Tony Baloney, and all your people understand this as well, is to unite everyone. And I think that's what that match will do. So whether you consider it digital wrestling, whether you consider it CAW, wherever you compete, we are trying to put unity back into the community. We've all seen toxicity. We've all seen trouble, garbage being spat from people. But to see so many companies come together for this show is pretty amazing. Your boy Blaze here has done a thing each year called The Gathering, where I bring together over 30 or more different channel showrunners, promoters, whatever you want to call it. And we have an event similar to this, but this really goes even further. Am I going to praise Riley Wolf for it? Hell no. That son of a bitch has given me grief for the past few years. Is he a great wrestler? Sure. But I can't wait to see that punk ass bitch retire so we don't have to deal with him anymore. Settle down, guys. Settle down. But if I could say one thing about this match, you guys have, some of you have seen or heard heel Blaze, if you will, with my commentary, taking it to another level, not being Mr. Nice Guy so much to bring people together. In this instance, you're going to see a little more of heel Blaze, and this old man still got more gas in the tank. Now, Duke Zinda, GPW, amazing work. Great job at what you do. My daughter Sunshine and my son Junior has been a part of that company, and we love it. Duke Zinda has been a part of Leaning Towards Death Wrestling. So I know him a little bit, and I look forward to showing him that this old man still got it. Neo Xtreme and NCW. Pineapple pizza is all I have to say about that one. And Riley Wolf knows what I'm talking about. And if you don't, do a little research. Check out Neo Xtreme Wrestling, where I put Riley Wolf in his place, showed him that I still got it, and made him do with a real New Yorker. The Italian in him had to eat pineapple. Not only did he lose, and thank you, Christian Tracy in the chat, K-Dog in the chat, and even my nemesis Devlin, who helped us put Riley in his place, let's say that, before he got to retire. Now, besides this endeavor, which is going to be a hell of a spectacle next week, I must do shameless plugging. And Tony, if you got a problem with it, you can go fuck yourself.
I was going to say go ahead anyway.
To the Blaised Radio Network. Now in the chat, check it out, because I'm going to celebrate the end of Riley Wolf as well. And it's called Riley Palooza, and it's this Saturday on the Blaised Radio Network. Do not miss it, where Riley Wolf will have his last matches for those who wanted to fight him and who he wanted to fight before he exited. We'll also name a new number one contender, because Riley Wolf was the world champion in LTD, and he lost it. So he can't do what he wanted to do, is retire as an LTD champ. However, I will let you know that he was, and he did reach the pinnacle, and he brought something to the table in LTD that I didn't think anyone could. He raised the game, if you will. And if you haven't seen me on LTD, you can also check me on the WrestleSense podcast, more shameless plugs, because this Thursday night, you're going to hear Blaze rant like never before. So let me just leave it at that. And if you haven't already, if you're new to what I do, come on over, because we do put unity back into the community. And to see this type of affair happen makes me smile. But when the bell rings for this match, that smile's gone. It's about business. Neo Xtreme, you as well. I can't wait to get into the ring with you. Now, Tom Doyle is another different. And as some of the people earlier also let you know, like Atticus, I've never been in a ring with Tom Doyle. I don't know as much, but you bet your ass, you could bet your dupa, I will be doing my research. I'll be watching a lot of his work to get the best. I will pick the brains of those who have put him in his place. The cerebral mind of your boy Blaze McCoy, the Steel City Sultan, has a message to make at this show. It's not about what brand is better. If you know your boy Blaze, I want everyone to flourish and do well, no matter how you run your company, where you run your company. I admire all of these competitors in this whole show, and specifically these four. But once again, they're going to feel the wrath of Blaised McCoy. It's a different side that people are not used to. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't going to be pretty. But I have all intents and purposes in making a statement and walking out with my hand raised as the champion in the Battle of the Brands. Tony Baloney, what you got to say about that? What else you need from me?
That was an amazing, as they're saying in the chat, Blaze rant from the one and only Blaised McCoy. Now you were talking a lot about Neo Xtreme. There is some rumor and innuendo going around that Neo might not be able to make February 17th, and that it could be a triple threat match. Do you think that helps or hurts your chances?
Does it surprise me that Neo might back out and be a pussy and not show up? Hell no. I don't care if it's an injury or his daughter's, sister's, cousin's, nephew's, next door neighbors throwing a party. Whatever excuse he wants to use, whether he's there or not, it doesn't change my game plan. And I can't really elaborate because he's not here to defend himself. So I don't want to be that guy. So whether he's there or not, my plans don't change, Tony Baloney.
Well, very interesting. Before we let you go, Blaze, you've already kind of alluded to it a little bit, but do you have an entertaining story that about Riley Wolf, either in or out of character, that you'd wish to share in front of all these people?
Well, in character, I just shared my thoughts, but let's take the lid off and let's get down to business and talk. Shoot straight here for a minute. And I alluded to it in my little rant that there was a time where LTD, I had to kind of, now the thing about leaning towards death wrestling, if you don't know, is it's a little different than other brands. I want to have as many people on the roster as possible. So it is different than other places sometimes. And some people like that, some people don't. And the one thing I had to do, which I didn't really want to do, is shut down some of the chats, some of the group chats for banter and promos and stuff. Because to be honest, when you bring together 80 different people or more, there are going to be people that don't like each other. There's going to be people that don't want to work with each other. And I'm blessed to know that a lot of people will put that aside for the sake of the game, for the sake of playing digital wrestling and having fun with it. So I did kind of cut off open chat in the promos because it was causing too much problems. I wanted to be able to control it a little better. So that's why you have the Get Blaised talk show before big shows. And I do open it up. I do want people to be able to do what you're doing here and what we do on the Get Blaised podcast is let people have their say. But just like I said on Saturday, there's different levels of engagement. We're bringing people together that either super in their characters and love promoing and talking, just happy to be there, don't want to talk or anything, but just playing, so there's different levels of engagement, and I want to welcome everybody to do that. But when Riley Wolf came along to LTD, he raised the game. We got video promos of Riley walking down the street, breaking down his feud with Shifty the Drunken Dragon Clown. And what that did was a ripple effect. And this is what digital wrestling and CAW should be, is not only putting aside your differences and having fun and unity in the community, but being able to get in character if you want to. And I said it Saturday as well on my talk show. Reach out, have other people help you. And the community really has part of my rant Thursday night. I'll do a spoiler here. IWC. People say there's an IWC. There is no IWC. Internet wrestling community. It's not a community. What we've built here between these brands you're seeing on this show and what I do on my channel, we're building a community. We're building a place where people can forget about whatever's bothering them in their real life and come and have fun. And Riley stepped the game up, which made other people want to do it. Whether it's like Riley and what Tony are doing today, letting people in or out of character come in and talk, it's a beautiful thing. And I want to thank Riley for everything he's done. And I get emotional because I've seen the bad side of CAW. I've seen the dark side of digital wrestling. And I do my best to keep that away. And the passion that some people show, the ability to want to help raise other people's game is a beautiful thing. And I commend you, Riley, for, and the Wrestle Sense podcast that you've been on, and the stuff you're doing in the ring in real life. It's inspiring. If people know Riley personally, the things he's had to overcome to do what he's doing is super inspiring, and that's real life and in character. So I commend Riley for everything he's done. I support him 100% in the future, going on to his endeavors in the real world and in CAW. I know I say I don't like CAW. My reasoning behind it, for those that don't know, is create a wrestler is what we do. It's not who we are. We are digital wrestlers. We are guys that are molding this video game into Dungeons and Dragons for wrestling fans, if you will, or fantasy football for wrestling fans, if you will. A place to go to forget about whatever's messing with you in real life and have fun. There's downfalls. There's things that hold us back. There's people that want to spoil it. There's those that don't play well with others. But what I've done, and if you know me, I'm not a guy that pats myself on the back and says how great we are, but to represent over 30 different channels on my show, people that run their own digital wrestling shows, having over 80 individual people, great human beings from all over the planet come together, and to see others kind of no duplicating or copying, but everyone does their own way. And it's such an amazing thing to think this actually become a community. And I hate to, out of character, I will praise Riley Wolf all I want, but in character, he's an asshole, he's a prick, he's annoying, he's this, he's that. But we love you, Riley, and we thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you so much, Blaised, for being on. You are someone that I've always looked up to, and that I strive to be as a talk show host and as a person. Like, real talk. I thank you so much for being on. Good luck in your match and the Battle of the Brands.
You bet your dupa. Thanks, Tony Baloney. Ease off the coke, bro. You're gonna kill yourself.
It's Sparacio! What are you talking about? I love Coca-Cola! We all love Coca-Cola here! But before we get on to some of the last matches, I'd like to bring on someone that unfortunately, due to just recording and stuff like that, isn't able to make the main card for Riley Wolf's last match, but let's still bring him on, keep him as welcome as possible in regards to just this being just a uniting show. Please welcome to the show, Brandon Cuevas. Welcome to the show, Brandon.
Hey, Sparacio, what's going on, dude?
It's going great. This has been an amazing talk show so far. Now, again, unfortunately, due to just recording and it being a very tight-knit project.
I heard. I know it's a lot's happening, and I get it. It happens.
Yes, and I hope that you're still going to be able to enjoy as a fan and enjoy the festivities.
You know I will. That's no secret.
100%. We always appreciate you. Now, again, we'll keep the theme going. You have any fun, enjoyable stories that with your interactions with Riley Wolf? I know I believe you were originally a part of the DVW roster back when that project was happening.
I was going through some changes a little bit, but now, as you see from my picture, this is basically I'm becoming who I am now, not just as a rebellious soldier, but as a new form of the Xtreme. And I'll say this, and I want to get on a little bit about the NXW World Title match between Hagen and my little brother, Jose Miguel.
Oh, please do. Please do. As you're a part of the NXW roster, this affects you.
And I'm saying this towards Hagen. What the hell do you think Riley Wolf is going to do with a King Cobra like Jose Miguel when you know that Jose Miguel is the type of guy that when Riley Wolf does something wrong, he'll stab him in the back. Like,
Very interesting.
How do you trust someone like that? I know Jose Miguel ins and outs because, hello, we're brothers. Don't tempt it, dude. Believe me.
Wow, interesting. You know what? Let's get a rebuttal real quick from Cody Hagan. Cody, what do you think about Cueva saying that it's very obvious that Jose is not aligned with Riley? Is Cody still here? Earth to Baldy.
He's probably out and about doing whatever the hell he's doing.
All right, I guess he's not here to rebut. If he wants to rebut, he can message in the private chat whether he wants to rebut or not. But I'm very glad you were able to come on, and that we're not just here talking about people featured in matches or anything. That we are getting an outsider's perspective on this show. And I appreciate you being on, and all the experiences you've had. You've always kind of been there around that sphere that Riley's always been around. Oh,
yeah, this is true. This is true. I'm always that guy that's hovering around just everywhere. I'm somebody that gets a hawk's eye on everything, and if I see something that doesn't sound right in my ears, I'm just gonna. And speaking of Hagan,
I don't know what's going on. I'm caught up in this hosting duty, but yeah, it looks like. But yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Always appreciated you. Always appreciate the things that you've been able to do, and I hope you do enjoy Riley Wolf's last match, even if you're not a part of it.
Hey, I always will, man. I always will. Even though I'm not gonna be in it, I still know that everybody here that I respect, from Angelita Matthews to Jeff Matthews to Paul Utaker himself, to Tracy, to my own little brother, to Blaised, to hell, basically everybody that I stood across from and talked to, including Shelly and Jacob Baker. All I'd say is thank you to all. And to Riley Wolf.
Well, thank you for being on.
And to Riley Wolf. Me and him don't got a lot as far as not just in ring, but outside of it we had a lot. But outside of it we have a lot in common. But the only thing that strikes me is that we never got into the ring once. And it's kind of stupid on my part for not challenging him straight on. But you know what? I always still got respect for him no matter what.
Well, respect is definitely earned, and I can probably speak for Riley. Yep, he's in my ear right now saying that he respects the hell out of you and what you've done in your career. And it's unfortunate that you two haven't faced off. But again, I hope you enjoy the show, enjoy the rest of your career, and just, yeah, have a good one.
That I will. And that's my salute right there to all of you, including you, Riley.
There you go. But now let's move on to the marquee match. What everybody is talking about. This is the first match confirmed at Riley Wolf's last match, and it's a monumentous match. It is the rubber match that's finally going to happen. We will be seeing Lance Romance versus James Frost. And unfortunately, neither Lance nor Frost or Lance's new manager, Mean Gene Rogers, is in the building, nor did either of them get a text promo out to me. But this is a monumentous match that I believe we will all have our eyes on. I know we did see Lance in the chat earlier. This is such a amazing match that I cannot wait for. I think all of us are very excited for this match. And finally, let's get into the main event, the marquee attraction, the match that the show is named after to begin with. Riley Wolf's last match. This will be the last match ever filmed that features Riley Wolf, as Hell's Gate Wrestling has been pre-recorded. This is a monumentous match. CK Nova has been handpicked by Riley Wolf to be his tag team partner against Siler Jordan and Duke Drama. The past and the future all collide in one. And there was a video that went out a while ago when this match was first announced. And it was a video from a man that Riley has wanted to face for a long time. A man that was always compared, these two were always compared to each other. Siler Jordan definitely had something to say when this match was announced. And we're going to hear it right now.
You think you deserve to ride off into the sunset. You think you deserve the spotlight one last time. You think you deserve to be celebrated? Well, let the Thriller tell you what you deserve. But first, let me take you back. Let me take you back to 2020. Awful year for wrestling. Terrible year for wrestling. But your best year. Funny how that works. 2020, everybody was talking about Riley Wolf. Everybody was excited because you had it. You had it in the ring. Not gonna shortchange you, but you had it like I have it. You had the gift of gab. You had the ability to tell people why they wanted to watch Riley Wolf. And you know what? A lot of us fell for it. A lot of us fell for it. Even me. Even the Thriller, for a moment, believed. You made me believe. And so what did the Thriller do? The Thriller went to every promotion that the two of us were involved in and said, hey, let's do Riley Wolf versus the natural born Thriller. Let's not just have a war in the ring. We can both go. I got you. But let's have a war of words. Let's have an intellectual battle for the ages. And I said it and I wanted it. And the people wanted it. They all wanted it. But here's the thing. It didn't really work out, did it, Riley? Whose fault is that? Whose fault? Why is 2020 your best year? Not 2021, not 2022. Why? Because the thing that brought you to the dance, the thing that got everybody talking, was the same thing that dropped you down. Your big mouth. So why is this different? Why does this all matter? Why should we care in 2024? Is that going to be your year? It wasn't 2021, 2022, 2023, but you think 2024 is Riley Wolf's year. I don't know. But we're going to find out. And the Thriller is going to give you exactly what you deserve, depending on who shows up. Because if the Rogue Gallery reject shows up, I'm going to put him in the dirt. If anything less than your best shows up to your retirement show, I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to put you in a wheelchair, and so your retirement is just like everybody else's. Nobody cares about you. You're put off in some little hospice, feeding the duckies. Gone. Unimportant. Or are you going to show me something? Something that you haven't shown anyone in over 3 years. You're going to show me Riley Wolf, the best. I have my opinions and I have my suspicions, but let's see what you got. 2024, Riley Wolf, the Thriller. See you there.
Some heart-wrenching words from Siler Jordan. And I think we need a rebuttal from the man himself. So, real quick, let me get the man here. Hey, boss! Hey, boss, come over here. You've seen it. Take the mic. Siler Jordan, you got one thing abundantly correct. 2020 was my best year. It is the defining year when Siler Jordan and Riley Wolf were brought up in the same light. This is when you were at your peak and I was getting there. But surprisingly, we both fell off. We both fell off. In a year's time, both of our stocks fell. For different reasons, I'll say, but both of our stocks fell. You weren't the natural born thriller turned brutal legend that unified the GPW titles to create the GPW undisputed title and walk in to one of the most successful digital wrestling cards of all time, GPW Winner Circle 4 as GPW undisputed champion. You are not that Siler Jordan anymore. But see, since day one, when I announced my retirement, when I said February 17th is my last match as a digital wrestler, I just got better and better. Don't believe me? Look at the proof. NCW. I became one of the fastest rising stars since Lance Romance. LTD. I won title after title after title until I became LTD World Champion. NXW, I almost controlled the whole damn thing. So I just got more and more dangerous as my retirement has come on. So do you not think that on February 17th, you're going to get the best Riley Wolf? You're out of your mind, Siler. You won't be getting the best Riley Wolf. You'll be getting better than the best Riley Wolf. You will be getting all 1001 faces put together. All the best traits of Riley Wolf put into that one ring so I can walk out into the sunset victorious at Riley Wolf's last match. And my last match! Not only am I going to do this for me, I'm going to do it for CK Nova. I chose Nova because he is the meta, the most efficient technician around. He is one of the greatest to come around. And I see something in him. And Duke Drama, I see something in you. I seen exactly what I saw in Siler back in 2020. You are a star. But please, Drama, please, Duke, do not turn out like Siler Jordan. Don't become a washed up has-been like Siler Jordan has become, relying on a nostalgia act while I've reinvented myself every chance I get. So Siler, bring your A game. Bring that natural born thriller that I looked up to. Bring that Siler Jordan. Duke Drama, be the best you can. Bring your A game. I want the best Duke Drama as well. Because it's going to take the whole world to stop me from walking out on top in my last match. Now, Tony, send them off for me. No better words have been spoken by the man himself. I want to thank you all so much for being on this monumentous, historic talk show. And I am so excited for February 17th, Riley Wolf's last match. Make sure that you're all there for it. We will be having a pre-show, 5:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be having the two past, present, and future Rumbles. Sponsors get top priority to be special guest commentators at that past, present, and future Rumble. Make sure you're there. We're setting the time right now. I said 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means the main show will be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. Set your watches. Whenever the YouTube link comes up, make sure you set that reminder, because this is the biggest match in digital wrestling history, CAW history, in one of the biggest 2K games events of all time. Make sure you're there. Thank you all so much for being here for my send-off here in the digital wrestling community. And that is Road to Riley Wolf's Last Match 3, Coca-Cola time. Thank you all so much for coming. I'll see you guys at Riley Wolf's last match.